It's now time for Remember When with Uncle John. John Guess, Ouachita County's resident storyteller and local historian. Sit back now and enjoy a walk down memory lane as John recalls the days of yesteryear in his own unique way. You never know, some of it might even be true. So here's Uncle John, along with his trusty sidekick, Kelly Blair.
Back on Remember When with Uncle John. Well, here we are at the next best thing to a Friday. Just been steamrolling right through this week. Still got our same great sponsors, though, including the Prescott Raceway. They got races going on this weekend. What you need to do is go check out PrescottRaceway.net. You can pull up the entire schedule right there. If you have any questions, call Jackie Lewis down at the Napa store in Magnolia, or you can call him at 887-0336. And then on Saturday, you might want to head down to 5121 Highway 53 and check out the main event as they have some big races going on this weekend.
And we got ProMed Ambulance serving Randolph, Lawrence, Ashley, Union, Dallas, and Calhoun County. Give them folks a call at 1-800-634-0436. Tell them Uncle John and Kelly sent you. I bet you they'll cut you a deal.
No doubt about it. Also, Sherwin-Williams House Paint at 315 Jefferson Street. Greg Bradshaw and his staff can help you out with all those painting projects, so give them a call at 836-8125 or just go see them in person. Tell them Uncle John and Kelly sent you. Also, want to give another shout-out now. We're handing out cards right and left, and this is compliments of the Shopper's Guide, our man J.J. Lindsay down there, even though he keeps calling me Aunt Kelly, which I'm going to get him for before it's all over with. These are super nice cards, man. Make us look like professionals.
That's right. If you need some stationery, if you need some business cards, whatever your printing needs, call J.J. down at the Shopper's Guide and get him to fix you up.
And I know we're on the radio awfully early each and every morning, Monday through Friday. But so if you miss it, you can always listen to our podcast. And I just found out, John, our podcast can actually even be found on YouTube. Be sure to search for Remember When with Uncle John. If you just search for Remember When, you're going to come up with 1,001 different options to listen to. But Remember When with Uncle John, I pulled it right up the other day, no problem. Not only can you find us on YouTube, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podchaser.
Absolutely.
All right, John, what do you want to talk about here today on a Thursday?
Well, my brother, Jerry Guess, his brother-in-law, Doug Norwood, passed away last week, lived up at Chittister, just a few miles from my house.
Oh, crap.
Doug was a one-time city police officer here in Camden. He worked out at the paper mill for 25 years or so after that, and he was actually the animal control officer here in Camden at one time. Worked for the Ouachita County Sheriff's Office as a jailer. Doug was one of those, born in 1948. He was a pretty renowned local drummer, rock and roll drummer in the 60s around here. Doug was a character.
Okay, there you go.
We had some great times back in the mid to late 80s. We all running the same circles. His sister Rita married my brother, and Doug used to come to my mama's every Sunday and eat lunch with us, and when my mother was still alive, and he'd get on one side of Rita and I'd get on the other, and we'd tickle her and aggravate her and all that, but I just thought the world of Doug. His daughter Shelley was in the Panama invasion when they went in and got Noriega, and she got wounded, and later on she passed away, and it was one of those things I don't think he ever got over. But Doug was just a super one of the most natural funny people I've ever saw. He could do the Pink Panther, Inspector Clouseau.
Ah, there you go.
He could sing just like Bob Dylan. He could sing and you couldn't tell it wasn't Bob Dylan.
Dang.
He was just one of the most. Pam's talked about before being around, all of us back in the 80s, and when she had the beauty shop right here, next door to us. Rita spent a lot of time there, and Doug would come by. Just one of the most naturally gifted, funny guys you'd ever meet. But he passed away last week, and he's going to be missed. Lived up in the my brother and them they got a big pond up there, and he lived there on the pond in in a home there, a nice house. But he was a great guy, a lot of fun to be around. Like I said, we made all the bar scenes back in the 80s, listening to the bands play and everything. Just a good friend, a good guy, a funny person, and want to extend our condolences to Rita and the family, but he's going to be missed.
Absolutely. Those are the kind of memories that both bless and burn. Hey, that's going to wrap up Remember When with Uncle John for today, but we'll be right back here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, ready to wrap this one up and put a bow on this week for Remember When with Uncle John. Man.
And tomorrow is July the 1st.
Man, can you believe it? Halfway there.
Halfway there.
In 2022.
That's right. See you tomorrow, Kelly.
You've been listening to Remember When with Uncle John on Y95. This broadcast can be heard each weekday morning at 6:45 on South Arkansas's favorite station, Y95.